So in today's video, we're going to talk about the Alocasia Frydek. And of course, my child left his play plate in this clip, so I'm just gonna... So when I first got this plant, I wanted to leave it alone for a few days just because you can stress your plant out. They recoup after a while, but I just wanted to avoid doing that. And if you see in this clip here, I had actually had to cut a lot of the leaves off. There was only this one leaf on the plant. I had gotten it discounted, so all the leaves were just dead, except for this one leaf. So before I removed the pot, I was really worried that the roots were not going to be so great, especially with alocasias. They tend to have a lot of root rot, and the soil is very dense. If you can see in this clip, it was really hard to remove it. So when you remove a plant, you really want to loosen the plastic pot to try and avoid any damage, and as you can see, the roots were crazy on this plant. Now, like I said, I was really worried that this plant had root rot given the fact that a lot of the leaves were just dead. So for this plant to have this many roots, it just means it was root bound. It needs to be repotted, which I'm doing here. I'm also loosening the soil, removing all this dense type that I don't want. Alocasias do like their soil to be moist but not drenched, otherwise you get the root rot. I also added in, you'll see in the clip here, I add in orchid bark for drainage just so it doesn't sit in it for too long. And let me tell you guys, I have been trying to get this video up for so long. I recorded this back in October, it's now December. I had so much stuff come up. I'm currently sick with a virus, which is so much fun. But I did want to get this up. It's been forever. The plant has changed dramatically, which I'll either add in a clip or a picture of it for an update, and I also will add in my Instagram here. I post a lot of updates on my plants, and I still have so many more plants I need to post. In this clip though, I want to show you how crazy these roots are. I was completely shocked that this plant had so many roots. So I had to cut this clip here because these pots were not the size I needed. So I had to upgrade to a bigger one. When you're choosing a pot size for your plant, you don't want to go too big, you don't want to go too small. You kind of just have to find a good in between. I would say about 2 inches wider than the pot it was in, so these guys have room to grow, you don't have to change them so often. And then from here, I'm just making up my soil mix, which is just regular potting mix. I add extra perlite for drainage, and then, as I stated, I go in with orchid bark. And this might be a little odd because you're probably wondering, well, if these guys like to stay moist, then why are we adding extra drainage? And the reason being is because, like I said, these guys are so prone to root rot that I would rather have to water my alocasia more often than worry about root rot and having to repot it and investigate and see what's going on. And so far, my alocasia is enjoying this type of mix. I also plan on doing a video on different soil mixes for different plants. If you're interested in that, leave a comment down below and I can make a video on that. Here I'm just adding orchid bark to the bottom of my pot. This helps with drainage when watering your plants. It just drains faster. I personally like it. So I do this method. Some people even use, small stones. I just use orchid bark because that's what I have on hand. So here you want to make sure your plant is up to the lip of the pot. You don't want your plant too low, so here I'm just adding soil and measuring about how far I want this plant down or up from the lip of the pot itself. So here's where I found that perfect spot. The plant's not too far down, it's not too far up, and then from here you fill in the perimeter of your plant with the soil mix you have. You might also have to hold your plant up when doing this, which can be a big pain, but some plants are just top heavy and you have to do it. Luckily this plant wasn't too bad with it, so I didn't have to hold it in place, but if your plant's off center, it's not the end of the world. I just personally try my hardest to keep it centered. And I had to make up more potting mix for this. I didn't expect to have to go through so much, but it is in a larger pot, so... So here I'm going to push down the soil just slightly, not enough to compact it. You do not want to compact your soil. Roots are like us, they need to breathe, and if they can't breathe, then the plant can suffer. Now here's where I was towards the end, and you can see you shouldn't have to push the soil down so hard, and that will be your answer as to that's where you stop pushing it down. I just personally added a little extra soil to the top so the plant was fully covered, and that was it. Now currently I have this plant in my kitchen right near my window, right near my sink. These guys kind of like high humidity, so I'm guessing it's kind of enjoying the humidity in my kitchen. I have my dishwasher there, the sink, and it's getting light from the window. It actually currently has 3 leaves. One of them I messed up because I used a tweezer to try and help it. Sometimes that can end bad. I learned my lesson. Sometimes you do have to help plants with their leaves, but I should have just left it alone. And it currently actually has 1 new leaf coming out again, so this plant is just loving it. You kind of just have to find the perfect spot for your plants. Sometimes they work out, sometimes they don't. Also, keep in mind, alocasias can go dormant in the winter, so if yours dies, don't throw it out. Sometimes they can come back in the summer, so just hold on to it, and then come summertime, put it out, and it should come back. I actually even have an Alocasia poly right next to it, and it had 2 leaves, dropped 1, and both of them are getting the same environment, same care, and some of them just do better than others. Some plants are just trickier than others. I also want to add, I do have a wood burning stove, so my house gets very dry very fast and very hot. So I also spritz my plants with water to kind of add humidity so they kind of get a little extra boost in care. So that might also be adding to how happy they are. I'm not too sure. And yeah, that's about it for this video. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And hopefully soon I will have another new video up. Well, the lighting isn't so great, but there's the new leaf. So this is the original leaf I had gotten. I have all my pets surrounding me because they want to know what's going on. This is the original leaf. This one is the second one I had gotten. My cat's currently climbing my back, and this is the leaf I messed up. So yeah, tweezers aren't always the best option.